you that there is no reward, you get nothing for it, but be a good person anyway, right? What if I told you you're still gonna struggle, you're still gonna suffer, you're still gonna go through the day to day, you're gonna still have to deal with pieces of shit, you're still gonna have to deal with bosses that overwork and underpay you, you're gonna have to deal with, like, people in relationships who just can't step it the fuck up and do the right thing, even though they know how to do the right thing, they just choose fucking not to. Or you could have friendships where, people are shady and sneaky or whatever the fuck. You're gonna deal with all that. All of it. Every single bit of it. But be good anyway. Because how the fuck is anybody gonna get better if we don't just do it? Like, if we don't just walk with pure intentions, if we just speak the fucking truth, if we're just real with fucking people, if we're just authentic with one another, like, maybe that in itself is the reward, right? Because then, like, think about all the consequences of being a shitty person. Nobody trusts you. Nobody likes you. People, and not that you need to give a fuck what other people think, right? But then it reflects also in your career and academically, if you're a piece of shit person, it's going to reflect on every facet of your life, not just interpersonal relationships, right? People, won't want to help you out so much. People won't pay you when you're going through hardship. You're not going to get some fucking Medal of Honor for doing the right thing, but you're gonna get a whole lot of punishment for doing the wrong thing, Like, and I feel like this should just be common sense. Like, I feel like, but then so many times I see stupid posts where people are like, don't be loyal to somebody who's not loyal to you, and da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, no, dude, you should still be loyal, because if they're the one acting out of pocket, if they're the one doing the wrong fucking thing, why the fuck are you gonna do it? You obviously know better, right? You obviously know, like, that's not the right thing. And then if you do that, you match their energy, you match their behavior, you're not better than them, right? And yes, you can be better than people. I hate when people are like, nobody's better than anyone else, and I'm like, excuse me, Robin Williams is definitely better than Epstein. Don't fuck with me, okay? Like, no, I'm not doing the bullshit. We're gonna be real here. Some people are better because they choose to be better, right? And when people treat you like shit, be the better person, not the bigger person, right? Be the better person. Show them how a better person would respond to that. Show them that you have fucking grace, right? That you're still gonna put in your 2 weeks. You're still going to work as hard and with as much attention to detail as possible. You're still going to treat your employer right, even if they don't, because that's on them. That's their character. Your character is going to speak volumes for you, right? Other employers are going to see you and be like, now that's a keeper. I'm gonna have that one. I'll pay you more. I'll give you way more hours. I will show you we appreciate you. We want you here, And the same goes for being good in relationships, right? Because people notice if you're a piece of shit to your partner, right? They notice if you're talking mad crap, you're putting them down, you're out, talking to other people, like trying to hook up with people and doing fuck shit. People see your behavior. Even if you think you're hiding it well, like, no, people see. And then on top of that, you're no longer trusted, right? On top of that, people, so let people be on their fuck shit. My favorite thing to do, my favorite philosophy is let people do what they want to do and then see what they want to do and then act accordingly, right? According to their behavior, according to the consistency, according to whatever, and find their base behavior, right? Find, like, okay, is this how they are all the time, or did they have like one little, like moment where they were whack for like 30 seconds or whatever, like find the consistency there, and it will help you place them or rank them in your life, right? So yeah, you act according. You let people be who they are entirely, without rules, without expectations. You just sit back and you're like, all right, who are you going to be? Let's see the show. Let's watch it unfold, right? And you be patient and you listen, you observe, you feel them out. And I mean, you feel them out, right? You let that heart chakra roam, bro. Let it roam. Feel that room out. You know, when you feel that electromagnetism just, you know, I don't know if you feel it, but I feel like you feel it. If you're connecting to me on this page, it was specifically because, you gotta be quantum entangled with me. I never ask for likes and subscribes. I'm not like putting myself out there because I'm not for everybody. And I like to make that very abundantly clear. I'm here for a very exclusive soul family. Okay, my soul family. And so, like, you know, that's all I've been manifesting. I'm like, to all the gods and goddesses, to all the fairies and everything, you know, like, whatever, dude. I just want, you know, my soul family. And so putting myself out here was literally that, like, to find y'all. So if you're here, I know you know what I'm talking about. I know you felt it, the electromagnetism leaving your heart chakra, or not even leaving it, just it's like a beam, it's like a lightsaber when you're just like, but yeah, use that to feel it, to feel when you're with people, to feel in their energy. Listen to the way your employer talks, you know, listen, pay attention. What is their biggest focus, right? Is it about money? Is it about productivity? Is it about quality control? What is their thing, right? And also, the more you listen to them, right, the better you can do at your job, because you're observing what their need is, right? And your job there is to fulfill a need, right? So to make yourself very valuable, you want to listen. You want to know. You want to be like, okay, this is their biggest concern. All right, so how can I work on my own to better the situation for them, right? And without reward, remember, without reward, you might not get a raise. You might not get a promotion. You might not get, you know, because who knows where the fuck your boss is, and like mentally, you know, you might not get that, but you will have the reward of like knowing that no matter what you put in, so like such good effort, like there's not a single bad thing that could be said about you, about your work ethic, about the way that you were with people, right? You didn't act out, you didn't scream at people, you didn't throw food across the fucking room, you know, like when you're like, and especially when other employers catch wind that, hey, you were mistreated or mishandled at your work, and undervalued, overworked, underpaid, all that, they find out about that, and then they, you know, they see what's going on, they're going to be like, nah, we're taking you. Like, you deserve better. We're gonna treat you better, you know. And it does happen, right? Like, I don't think I've ever left a job and not gotten into a better situation, you know. And that's not saying that my old jobs were bad. Like, some of them were super dope and I love them, you know. Some of them were bad, but you know, whatever. And some of them were bad because of the work. It wasn't even because of the people, but whatever. Like, yeah, dude. Sometimes the work itself sucks. But, you know, like changing out batteries in the middle of a winter outside, you know, like that can be rough, you know. But yeah, so it's like, and never leave a situation to go into a worse situation or the same kind of situation. And that's something I had to learn with trial and error, right? Because I was chasing the high of my first good job. And then, but then, you know, I was met with different types of situations, different types of experiences. So, you know, like, always make sure that whatever you're leaving, whatever you're walking away from, you're walking into better, right? If you're leaving a situation, like a job, you know, don't leave for, you know, something that's going to be the same or worse, right? I mean, if you really fucking need a job, take what you can, obviously. But then, continue looking, continue keeping your eye out for something better, because, like, you deserve better, right? You put in so much of yourself. You really effort everything, right? And to me, I feel like that shows so much character. We live in a world where everyone's like, work smarter, not harder, right? And sometimes it's not about being smart, right? Sometimes working hard is just about you. And, because if I'm selling my labor for wages, right? Then I'm going to give my most valuable labor, right? With and knowing that inevitably it's going to lead to a more valuable or to a more beneficial payout, or whatever, right? So you want your value to match the value of like what you're trying to get out of the situation, right? Because jobs are very selfish. Let's be honest. There's not like loyalty in jobs, and in the sense that, like, your boss is going to replace you if you leave, like that, and it's not going to matter to them. Like, they're just going to keep going, they're going to keep doing the shit because the show must go on, right? They're going to be fine, and also you're going to be fine. If you leave that job and you're like, okay, I need to go to another job or whatever, you'll be fine. It's just understanding it's not like a relationship where you go through certain rough patches and you just tolerate it, whatever, but it can be, I guess, because, I guess we all reach a limit, but I feel like with relationships, some things should not be tolerated, whereas, or I mean with jobs, sorry, some things should not be tolerated. For example, like if you're always doing the most, working the hardest, making sure everything is clean and done, arranged, organized, you do your best fucking work, and nobody ever has a reason to complain about your work because you just know it's on point every time. And then say you go to your boss and you're like, hey, like, financially, this ain't, this ain't working, dog, so could I get a raise, or could I get more hours, or whatever the fuck. You ask for something like that, and if their response is not yes, walk. Walk. Just go, because obviously you're not being appreciated. Obviously you're not being valued. Obviously this is not a company in which you can grow in. So, like, don't feel bad about that, right? Don't even second guess it. Just peace, dog. Because honestly, I guess it is like a relationship in that sense. Because, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're throwing 150% into it, you're like, I'm going to treat you right. I'm going to, make efforts to make your life easier, to be, like a solid rock for you, to never judge you, always be patient, be understanding. We might argue, but, I'm never cruel or whatever, if you're in that energy, where you're doing so much, you feel, they know, everyone knows, and then they don't, right? They take you for granted, and then you're like, hey, I really, would just like some time with you or whatever, but they can't take time out of what they're doing, right? Walk. Right? If they're like, like, if you're like, look, I am like overstimulated, like, I just, I need, I need to feel some kind of way, whatever, however relationship people talk about things, however you guys do it, like, if you're communicating what you need and what you want, in a relationship and what is important to you and stuff, and it's falling on deaf ears. Like they refuse to reciprocate, they refuse to make those efforts or whatever. Fucking walk away. Because just like with how, you know, like your boss is going to lose you to a boss who's going to appreciate you more and value you, same. Okay, same. Because you can be all fucked up over somebody who is just not reciprocating, who's not, you know, giving you the most after you're giving them the most, you know. And then there's gonna be this motherfucker who walks in like a fucking knight in shining armor, or lady in shining armor, or them in shining armor, whatever, you know. And they show up, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, what? I'm gonna treat you right. I'm gonna, you know, we're gonna do this, that, like, oh, you need somebody to talk to. Oh, you need somebody to hang out with right now. You don't want to be alone right now. Guess what, chicken butt? I'm showing up. I might have snacks. Like, you know, whatever. You're going to find somebody who is just going to naturally want to do it. They're going to naturally, it's going to be in them. The way that you felt all that time, the way that it was in you, that's going to be in somebody else, but towards you, right? Because like energy attracts like energy. Givers gotta find givers, man. Like, and takers are gonna find takers. That's why, and when they're in those toxic relationships, they got nothing but bad shit to talk about when it comes to each other. And dude, you know how fucking blessed I am for my ex-husband? Like, I don't say this enough, okay? Like, I'm fucking blessed for that man. We did not work out, obviously. My spiritual path put me on a path, okay? There was a lot going on. That did not work out. You know what did work out? We're fucking excellent co-parents. We, you know, we still support each other in parenting. Like, the kid breaks his phone, and guess what? We're both like, all right, how are we going to collaborate on this? Like, when do you get paid? Like, are we going halvesies? How are we going to make this happen? This kid needs a phone. You know, like, whatever. It's dope. Because giver met giver, you know, and givers gave. And so, but, you know, and our mutual understanding of why things didn't work out has only, like, made things better, right? Like, because we're fucking excellent co-parents. We're good at it. You know, we can communicate. We're like, okay, are you calling the school? Am I calling the school? What's going on? You know, did this happen? You know, did you set that appointment, or should I? You know, whatever. It's just nice, right? And it's good for your kids to see you not being at each other's fucking throats, I think. You know, if they see, like, okay, like, it didn't work out, but, like, they don't fucking hate each other, that's sick. That's pretty nice, you know? We're still gonna collaborate. We're still parents. We still got this, you know? That's sick. You know, and honestly, I wish everyone could have that, right? Because I've seen on so many other areas, and maybe it's because my ex-husband was my best friend for like 11 years, you know, so maybe that's why, you know, because we just, it's not like it turned into hate one day. It was just that, like, our feelings changed, right? We grew in different directions, and I think that's a healthy way that to sever something, right? But, like, you're gonna find people like that, and even if they're not your forever people, they're people who will treat you correctly, right? Who will show up for you correctly, who will, you know, want to. Who will want to, just simply put. And the people who don't want to, they absolutely can, they have it in them. And for somebody else, guess what, they want to. And that is the most painful reality, actually, in the world. You know, something that, like, and I know it's hard to hear, I know it is, because we all don't want to hear that, but they have it in them. They can absolutely show up and be the right person, just not for you, right? And Believe me, I've cried about it. I've cried about it. So I'm not coming at you like to be harsh. I'm coming at you to be real, right? Like we're real here. We're talking, dog. We're here for it. So, yeah, they have it in them. They just don't want to, right? And maybe it's because they still have feelings for a past person, or maybe it's because, you know, like runner chaser shit, whatever the fuck, you know. But you definitely know it when somebody wants to reciprocate, you know, or when somebody is all fucking in. And this is why I'm like, don't fucking waste your time with people with jobs who don't want the best for you, right? Like fucking my last job, oh my god, I loved that job. It was probably the best job. I couldn't stop smoking weed, so that was my bad. But such a good fucking job. Like, my boss always heard me out. He always, like, cared if I had any concerns. Even if I had random stupid questions, like, where I'd be like, would you rather be, like, a duck or a moose, you know, or whatever. I'd come up with stupid fucking questions just because, like, we could be that, you know? We could have that camaraderie. And, I fucking miss that, to be honest. And then even monetary wise, like he knew I was, you know, like, oh, these paychecks are kind of, I'm struggling a little bit. And then I didn't even have to ask, and he was like, we're giving you a raise, dog. Like, you're good, we're taking care of you. And then, you know, like the right employer is going to treat you correctly, right? They're going to show up for you correctly. Same with relationships. When you are valued, you know it. You know it. In the actions, in everything that's going on, you fucking know. And so it is an act of self-love to walk away from anything that undervalues you. When you know, you make it a point to be valuable, right? You are, like, you make it a point. You know your worth because you put in the efforts, right? You put in all the hard work. You do the shit nobody else wants to do, right? And you do it with a smile on your fucking face, even if you're struggling. And you know why? Because at the end of it all, that shit's coming back to you, right? And not even because of that, right? There's, like, even if it doesn't, even if there's no reward for being good, it's still in you, right? If goodness is your, like, set programming, what is the wording the verbiage I'm looking for? Default setting, right? If your default setting is to be good, to be honorable, to have integrity, you're gonna fall in line with that. And if it's not, sucks to suck, chicken butt. But also, like, you know, there are people who just, their default settings are not good, you know, narcissists and stuff, and that's so sad, right? It's sad for them, it's sad for everyone. But, you know, I think the only way that they ever get self-awareness is if it keeps being brought to their attention, right? If they keep, you know, being like, hey, we're redirecting you again. You done fucked up, right? And they can sit there and cry because they lost a good employee, or because they lost a good partner, they lost a good friend, they lost a good family member. Let them cry. Let them mourn your loss while you're still living, because guess what? You deserve better than that. And they fucking knew it the whole time. Right? They knew it the whole time. They were just full of excuses as to why they couldn't treat you right. Right? As to why it could just never be you. But then the next person in line, they're treating them right. Right? Because that's how narcissists do it, right? They want to give it all to somebody who doesn't fucking deserve it, right? They didn't, well, I mean, not saying they don't deserve it, but they didn't put in the work for it, right? People who, like, just walk into their life, they could be as toxic as ever, and they don't give a fuck. They're like, this is what I'm doing. I'm all that shit you just did for me, I'm doing for this person, and I'll never reciprocate that for you. That's some shit. Okay, that's a bull fucking shit. So yes, I stand 10 toes on that. I think that we all need to reach a point collectively where we just fucking don't tolerate less, right? From ourselves and from others. Because when we're always consistently putting in more, doing more, like, you know what? You're not going to get punished for doing the right thing over and over and over and over and over, right? Even if there's no reward, even if you don't get $1 billion, right? And an easy, cushy life, even if there's no fucking reward, do it anyway. Do it to spite the system, right? The most punk rock thing you could do is be a good fucking person, right? And that doesn't always mean being a nice person, right? I'm gonna tell you some harsh fucking truth to your face, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. It does not mean being nice. Being nice is so passive. It's weak, right? To be nice, right? I'd rather be honest. I'd rather be real. I'd rather be authentic, right? I would rather speak my truth. I'd rather, just show up in that light. Because to me, like, I want people to show up that way for me, right? I don't want you to always just nice me to death. I want you to be real with me. Like, tell me when I fuck up. Tell me when shit's whack. Tell me, whatever the case. And, that shit is just, like, for me at least, I value that shit. I think high value people are going to be real with you, right? Because, panderers, nice people pleasers and stuff, like, even if all their intentions are good, it's dishonest, right? And it's hard to trust somebody who is always just like super nice to everyone and stuff to tell you the truth about, like, anything. If you're like, hey, I need your advice on this, that, and the other thing, or am I wrong, da 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 da, or whatever, they're not gonna tell you you're wrong, dog. They won't. I will. I'll tell you right now. I'll be like, wait, what? The fuck did you just say? Oh yeah. So, so to me, I think nice is just very passive, and I think that real is, what it is. So, yeah, I'm not a nice person. But being a nice person and being a good person are two different things. Being a good person is about having the right intentions, right? You're not trying to harm anyone. You're trying to be real with them. You're trying to, set the record straight. You're trying to, because a real friend is going to correct your course if you're falling. if you're being all wackadoodle. We're gonna be like, wait, come back. Don't do that. Girl, don't dance on that table. Okay, whatever the case, actually do dance on the table. I think that would be sick. But anyway, bad example, but you get my message, right? Yeah, so, like, just, showing up and being the realest version of yourself, it doesn't mean you're going to be toxically positive, right? It doesn't mean that you're always going to be like love and light, bro. You're going to be like, no, let's be like, you know what? The way I saw, like, I will tell my friends if I see them acting funny with their partner or whatever, if they're rude, I'll be like, dude, that's fucked up. Oh, don't talk to your partner like that. Like, not in front of me, not in front of anybody. Like, I'll be the first one. Like, I don't care if you're my homie for like a million years. I'm gonna be like, dog, we ain't doing all that. Like, I ain't gonna support that shit. I ain't gonna back that up. Like, I'm not gonna be nice to you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be straight up. And that's the best thing I could do, because I could help you from fucking up a good ass situation. A real friend's gonna do that. So I try to show up like that, and so I don't want people thinking that I'm, I don't want people confusing good with nice. It's not the same. When you have good intentions, you have a pure heart, you're real with people, you're not coming from a place of malice, you're not just talking shit just to talk shit, you're helping course correct. You're trying to help put, like, you're helping their ancestors because their ancestors been screaming at them to get their shit together. Sometimes they need a physical person to be like, hey, gangsta, let's go. Let's do it this way. And that's, and I, like, one of my best friends right now, like, he's fucking like that with me, and I think it resonates hard for me because if I'm acting whack or whatever, or if I'm even thinking something that I'm like off base on or whatever, he's like, wait, no, you're wrong, and here's why, and da 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 da, and to me, like, that means the world to me. I don't care. He's not a nice person. He's a good person, good intentions and all that shit. And so, yeah. Where was I? But freaking, yeah, having the right intentions and really setting that standard for yourself in your life will only attract more people with good intentions, right? With more people who are authentic and real with you. And yeah, even a thug like me is wrong sometimes, and sometimes I need somebody to be like, dude, what did you just say? What did you do? Why did you think that? Like, sometimes I need somebody in my corner to be like, dude, and I think we all need that, I don't think that, people pleasing is going to get us far at all. I don't think, it just gets us walked on, taken advantage of, and there were even, like, my friend, I was just telling you, like, he was a huge reason why I started stepping up and being like, you know what, he's right, I have been too nice. I have been too forgiving, and there's a point where you're too forgiving, or you're like, oh, it's whatever, like, I'm just suffering, it's fine, like, and then it's like, no, it's not fine. You gotta change that right now. you gotta do the things. You gotta change it. And that's, like, I think we all need that. We all need a person that's gonna be like that in our life. So hopefully I can be that for you, at least to this capacity. Because, yeah. And it's funny, is like last night I was working and this message, like, it was just playing in my head. I was like, I just need to fucking get it out. It's like, somebody needs this, because I feel like I keep touching these bases with my tarot readings in like the last month. But then it's like yesterday, like, the whole shift, I was at work, I couldn't even record, and I'm like, why are the ancestors like this? Like, don't let me forget what I have to say. Like, fuck, dude. And they're just berating me. They're like, be good, for goodness sake. Like, and I'm just sitting there. It was like having a song stuck in your head, but it's a message, right? And it's just in there, and I'm like, fuck, okay. And so, like, yeah, it was, and then I woke up before my alarm this morning, and I was like, oh, you know what? Fine. I'm up. I'm doing it. I don't care. I'm not even going to get properly dressed or anything. We're just doing the video. And so that's what brought us here today, because that was like somebody needs that fucking message. Somebody needs to fucking hear that, bad, apparently, because my own ancestors are like beating my ass. They're like, get to it, do it, waking me up and shit, rude as fucking hell. Like, I woke up and it's like, remember remember the message. And I feel like, dude, like, other like people who get the downloads, like, I feel like you get what I'm saying. Like, I feel like you understand when those messages come through so strong. You can't think about anything else, and you're like, fuck, I don't know who I need to tell, but I have to tell everybody. Like, so yeah. And this channel actually started out like that, where I would just come on and do like philosophical rants and shit. I'm like, I'm gonna tell people what they need to hear. It was originally just that, and just these kinds of videos. But then I discovered at a party that I'm a terror reader. I discovered it. Because I knew I was an artist. I was drawing the cards, and I would always read for myself and stuff. But because I love tarot, you know. And then one day, like I had my own handmade little half done tarot cards and shit, and then my brother's stepkids were like, read our cards, and they're adults. They're not like little kids, you know. Well, they're teenagers, whatever. Now they're adults. They were teenagers, but yeah, they're like, read our tarot cards. I'm like, I've only ever read for myself, bro. I'm nervous. What if I'm wrong? Da da da. And then I did it, and they were like, holy shit, dude. Like, that shit smacked. Like, that was on point. And then I was like, oh my god, I gotta do it again. And then I think it was like 5 hours in that party where I was just freaking doing tarot readings. And now look at us, just still at it. And like, I don't know, but I feel like other tarot readers and other people who are on the journey, you know, like, I feel like you get it. And that's what today's message was for me. It was just like freaking pulling me out of my sleep. Like, I literally, like, I could not physically see, but I could see my ancestors just grabbing me by the shoulders and shaking. Like that song by Arctic Monkeys playing in the background, that I want to grab both your shoulders and shake, baby, snap out of it. You know, like that was the whole thing, the whole scene. I'm sitting there just chilling in my bonnet, getting a good rest, and then the fucking universe is like, bitch, they need to hear this. So here we are. But yeah. And now that I'm done with the lecturing, now I've finally gotten it out, I feel like a weight is lifted off of me. Like, and I'm no longer getting bullied by my ancestors. It's sick. We're good. And then I got to do a tarot reading after this, so I guess I'm not really in the clear from it. But yeah, I definitely, like, I was called. I was pulled into it. I was roped like a fucking, you know, and it's like, it's so easy to go into your villain arc, bro. I get it. Do you know how many times I've told my sister these exact words? I'm like, fuck it, I'm going into my villain arc. I'm over this. And then like the very next day, I'm like I'm still putting it in 150% of myself. It's like, we get the idea. We want to do that. But then it's just not us, right? It's not in our character to be shitty. It's not in our character to use people, to manipulate, to be greedy, you know? Like, it's just not us. And it's like Kendrick Lamar said, you know? They not like us. They not like us, you know? Like, whatever. They're not like us, right? The people who undervalue and underappreciate, underacknowledge, they're not like us. And we don't really want to be like them, do we? Right? That's the whole message here. We don't really want to be like them. Even if there's no other reward than that. Like, how insulting to our own spirit to be like them when we could be like us. Right? When we can just be operating out of our truth, out of our honesty, out of our authenticity, not trying to manipulate and control people, not trying to, you know, like, squeeze all the labor out of people without giving them a fucking cent in return, you know, or barely a cent, you know, giving them the bare minimum of what you're willing to give, you know, like, that's fucked up, dude. People are fucked up, right? But they're not like us, right? And I would think we should keep that in our hearts and in our head. Like, when we're treated like shit, thank God I'm not like that. You know? Like, just, that's where it's gotta be, right? That's a message. Take it into 2025. That's the message. Thank God I'm not that. Thank God my heart's not like that. Thank God I don't operate out of that energy. Right? Thank God that ain't me. Right? I'm gonna be thinking every God. You know what I mean? Right? It's like, that in itself, that's why grace is amazing, right? That is it, right? That's why grace is amazing. When you are graceful in spirit, when you are operating out of your own integrity, doing the right thing, when nobody's looking, nobody's going to reward you for that, right? Nobody's going to see it. And you know what? You're not going to bring their attention to it either. You don't need to go around telling them, right? Like, you could be popping off miracles left and right, like a fucking magician, right? And then you're just like, what are they going to do? Nothing. They're not going to see it. Like, oh, just miracled over there. Just miracled over there, right? And like, and what a blessing that is, because then it makes you feel like a fucking, like a good djinn, you know? Like, it makes you feel like a good djinn. Like, you're like, here I am, just making people's lives easier, just, you know, doing what I can, working hard, you know, like, being a valuable person in people's lives. Like, I think that shit is super important. I think that's it. And like, you know, be somebody you can be proud of being. You know, do you think they're actually proud of that? If people are operating in that energy and then they watch this video, you know how butthurt they're gonna be? Because they know that's them, right? They know the truth of their own energy, of their own spirit. You don't even gotta tell them. They fucking know. And guess what? Sucks to suck, chicken butt, right? That's it. Like, you know, because thank God we not like that. And, you know, like, and it's, I mean, they make villainy, whatever. They make being a villain look super sick. You know, the villains always have the best outfits, crazy fucking hair. They always look super sick. I know, they're always like out here like, ha ha ha, gonna ruin some lives, I don't give a fuck. Like, and yeah, it looks appealing, I get it. But you've been one of the lives on the other side of that, right? Like, you've been it. That's why you're watching this video, because you've been that random innocent person that just got smacked by these people, right? They just, your whole life turned the fuck upside down because they entered it, right? Like, you've dealt with villains in your life, right? And when you deal with real life villains, it makes being a villain so much less appealing, right? Like, Hollywood's gonna dress it up and make it look like, haha, yes, we out here bombing everything and doing this and that and blah blah blah. And you know, the reality is, it's fucking nice to be good. It's nice. There's no shadiness. There's nothing to hide. There's no, like, you know, you're just operating out of your integrity, and you can start that right now, right? You can start that today. That's the benefit of it. Like, there's not like you need it to always operate out of good energy or whatever. You can start that journey today where you're like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna operate out of this forever, and just, that's me. Like, I'm just, you know, and like, you don't need a whole lifetime of doing that. And that's, you think I've always been a perfect person? Only this week, okay. Only this week, okay. Yeah, no, dude, I've been a dick, you know, I've been a piece of shit in a lot of ways, but that doesn't mean I couldn't come out of it, right? It doesn't mean I can't course correct, right? I think real repentance, and I'm not saying it in the biblical sense, so please don't get all weird on me. But real, true repentance is not just saying I'm sorry, right? It's actually being sorry. It's being like, you know what? I don't like the way that I behaved, so I'm going to change all the factors that led to that behavior, right? I don't like what I said that day. I don't feel good about that, so I'm just not gonna do that again, right? Real remorse and repentance is not just saying you're sorry about it. You know what? It's better, the best thing is to never have to be sorry. Do you know how sick that is? To just not have to be sorry. You're like, I just did my fucking best. Operated out of the best I had to do, you know? Like, so, and if people, you know, still whatever, like, what can they say? What can they do? Right? You literally were just doing your best. And you had no bad intentions. You didn't do anything wrong, right? And so, what can they even say about it? You know? It's just fucking, I don't know. Like, the answer is so prominently in my face right now. And, you know, but also, like, shit, when I was a teenager, oh my god. You do not want to know me as a teenager. All the way until I was like 26, I want to say, maybe a little bit later. I don't know. That was all my teenagers, like whatever. Yeah, no, I was a huge dick, and I think like that's pretty apparent. Like I didn't just wake up one day being super nice. I thought everyone was stupid and everyone needed to know. So you know, whatever. Sometimes I still feel that way, but whatever. You know, I say it in nicer ways now. Yeah, you know, like, that's the thing about being good is it does not necessarily mean you're nice, but you're not operating out of malice and bad intent, right? You're not trying to hurt nobody. You're not trying to deceive nobody. You're not trying to be shady with nobody. Everybody just gets a bold truth with you, you know, and that's like so sick. You know, it's the sickest thing. And, you know, I think it takes being a bit of a piece of shit in the past for you to really appreciate not being a piece of shit. You know, it's like that equal opposite effect, you know, like when you've been treated like shit in the past and then somebody treats you super fucking good and you're like, what? That's it. Like, what? You know, like, that's just how it is. Right? And so I feel that, you know, if you're in that state of mind where you just always want to improve on yourself and you always want to operate out of grace, I think that is the truest repentance you could have of all of your sins. And I'm not saying it like in a religious sense, and I hope that you're understanding that message, right? It's not about repenting to no deity, right? It's not about heaven and hell and punishment and reward. It's literally like about the fact that you don't like the way that you acted or what you said or what you did, and you're just not ever going to do that again, right? Rather than getting yourself caught up in the same situation, being sorry for the same kind of shit over and over and over and over and over, stop being sorry, right? Stop having reasons to be sorry. And that's when you know, like, I'm 100. Like, what are they gonna say? They have nothing to say. I did my best, okay? And so, like, yeah. And, you know, like, I was a whole Machiavellian, like, Nietzsche-esque hedonist kind of person, you know? So I was always, like, looking at the other side. I was always like, maybe I should just be a dick, you know? Like, because it just comes so naturally. I don't know. Like, it's easy. But the older I get, the more I realize I just don't want to hurt people, right? I don't want to be the reason that the light leaves their eyes. I don't want to be the reason that they struggle or suffer. You know, I had one person that we had gotten into an argument over the COVID thing, right? And it was stupid. I forgot about it, didn't even think about it again, right? But I had said some pretty choice words, and then she came back and I was like, bro, you said all this and like, and that shit hurt and da-da-da. And because I was like, dude, I don't even remember. Like, I was like, I just, you know, I was like, I didn't even know that we were on the outs. I thought we were whatever, like, my bad, you know? And so, like, sometimes you do harm and you don't even realize you're doing it, right? You don't even notice. You're just so, like, stuck in that way of being, and then, like, you know, or you think you're being a funny, like, internet troll, but then there's actually a person there, you know, like, reading and receiving the messages and putting it through their own, you know, from their own worldview and taking it to heart, and feeling it, and you know, it's resonating in them, and it builds up, and that shit sucks, you know. And it had nobody have ever brought it to my attention, I would have kept on my bullshit. I loved being an internet troll, right? Loved it. The more I could fuck people up on the internet, it was like boxing for me. I was like, da 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 da. But yeah, and oh, like, you know, because I love a good debate. I love it. But I also love being a dick, apparently. So, um, you know, that's a Jin side of me, where it's like, it's easy, it's funny, it's all about humor. But, you know, like a lot of days I'm like, why am I Loki, bro? Like, I wanna, you know, I want to operate like this, but deep down inside, I just want to call everyone stupid and tell them to fuck off, you know, but whatever. You know, so I get both sides. Believe me, I do. I get it. That's the biggest part of my spiritual journey, is figuring out both sides and understanding I'm some weird gray area in the middle. Because my shadow, I love my shadow. I love my light. You know, I love both those pools. So it's like my own duality, you know, it is what it is. Um, but I do have remorse for the effect that it had on people, right? That shit fucked me up. As funny as it was to me, as like mischievous as I was being, I'm just over here like, you know, laughing, and people are actually like getting hurt, and they're like feeling some kind of way, and they're thinking about it years after the fact, and you know, like, you really don't understand the impact you can have on some people, um, you know, and it's not even like that big of a deal to you, but to them it's like crashing, right? It's crashing. It's you know, honestly, I think that if you're watching this, and if you understand like your shadow, and you understand your light, there's a happy medium, right? And there's a happy medium with sarcasm that doesn't need to hurt people, okay? Like, you know, I think tact, oh, what was that quote where they're like, tact is when you can tell somebody to go to hell and they're looking forward to the trip. You know, like, you know, tact is everything. Um, you know, do no harm. Also, like, you know, do what thou wilt. Whatever. Um, yeah, I think honestly, it's so simple and it's so hard, right? Because we have to take all the programming out. Gotta take all that fucking shit out, all the things, you know, all the appeal of certain things out of our head, and be like, no, I want to operate well. I want to be a good person. I want to think good thoughts. I want to, you know, I want to have self-respect. I want to talk to and about myself like somebody I respect, you know. Because that shit doesn't make sense to me either. When you're like, did I already say this? I might have already said it. Whatever. If I'm being redundant, let me know. Also, I'll just keep doing it. But yeah, like when... Oh my gosh, I lost track of it. Come back. I lost the entire thought. Maybe I did already say it. Maybe I did. Because the ancestors were like, nope, you already did. It's redundant. See, I asked and I received just then. I was like, if it's redundant, let me know. And then they're like, nope, you don't need that thought anymore. Anyway. Yeah, so that's how the ancestors operate, okay? You're seeing it in real time. Like, that's just how it be like. So be careful what you wish for, right? But yeah, just do good. For goodness sake. Not for reward, not for consequences, you know, not for heaven, not for hell, not for anything, but the fact that you feel good about it, right? You can always feel good about being a good person. You'll never regret that. You'll never have remorse. You'll never need to repent if you just operate out of that all the time. And I think my biggest repentance is like really not doing that. I catch myself starting to argue with people because I know I'm an Aquarius, bro. I'm like a professional. I'm like a heavyweight champion of the arguing. Okay, like I'm good at it. I will burn you so bad that your first ancestor in your entire genealogical line is gonna feel it, right? They're gonna feel it, and your last descendant, okay, it's gonna ripple across all the DNA over space and time. They're all gonna feel that burn, okay? And you ain't coming back from it, okay? Like, you will not. And so, dude, my biggest repentance is the fact that I stopped. Right? Like, I think, the biggest repentance is the fact that I don't do that because, like, I'm good at it. I will walk away now. Like, I catch myself, I start to get mean, and I'm like, okay, I'm going. Don't say it, like, that's when I need the ancestors to pull the thoughts out of my head, but that's not when they do it. They're like, oh no, I want you to think about all the best comebacks right now, and then I want you to walk away and not say any of them. Not once. Not one of them. And in my head, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I'm gonna scream. So yeah, spiritual journey, not easy. Okay, it's not. And anybody who makes it look easy is a fucking liar, dude. They're a fucking liar. They're not doing the work. Like, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, it's just because you have to take the things like you might love about yourself, but other people, it harms them, and you have to fucking course correct that and be like, fine, I'm not gonna tell them what I was gonna say. And I know my face doesn't lie. So, if you could be a fly on the wall, because my face is going to tell them everything that my mouth isn't. And I'll be like, motherfucker. Like, hi, did you just say? What? It's in me. I'm good at it. I get real hood real fast, but also I'm educated. So, you don't want an educated hoodlum to argue with you because guess what? I will win. And everybody's going to feel it. It'll ripple across your entire DNA, like genome, whatever, your genealogy, everyone in your family tree getting it. I'm cutting that fucking tree down with one burn. Yeah. So, I don't know. That's my ego misses it for sure. The shadow has suffered a bit. But, I had to wrangle that bitch in because damn. I think, it would, don't be a villain. Okay, don't. The consequences are too great. The appeal is so high. That's the problem. The appeal is so high. It's like, fuck. And then, but the consequences of your actions, of your words, they hold weight, and inevitably you're going to see what, the actual destruction of all that, tearing somebody down just because you're good at it, it's fucked up. And it's fucked up. They never deserve that, right? They didn't deserve all that. So, I'm real quick to block and just ignore now. Even when I'm like, I want to say what I want to say, but I don't. And it sucks. And there's no reward. Except for my ancestors just laughing. I feel it, I'm can't physically see it, but I can feel that shit. Because even me, I'm laughing. I'm like, are you kidding me? Every best comeback I ever had. I need a journal, just a comeback journal. This is what I would have said. Oh, that's exactly. I'm going to make that. But yeah, because, man, it is annoying to shut down the part of you that wants to operate out of that, you know, because the ego loves it. But then your higher self is like, it hurts people. Don't do it to them. They don't deserve it. You know? It's like being major pain, you know? Like, and you just gotta stop killing. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. But you know, I think the funniest part of my spiritual journey is how spiritual I am. Because, like, people who would have met me at 17 would be like, Natalie, like, spiritual? What the fuck? She's got crystals in her room? What the fuck? Got plants and shit? No way. You know, they would be like, no. They all thought I'd be in prison by now. For killing people. Fighting. But yeah, no. Then I went soft. And I like soft. I like it. It's inconsequential. Yeah. I get to make people's day. Now I get a different kind of rush, right? Back then, I got a rush from that. And now I get a rush from when people see me, I see a light just beam in their eyes. They're like, what? Natalie? Bro? You know, like, they get so excited. They hug me. They're like, they want to talk to me. They feel comfortable and safe in my energy. You know, they can come to me about anything, and they know I ain't gonna judge. I'm gonna sit here, hear them out. I'm gonna probably make some jokes. I'm gonna crack a little joke, like, you know, whatever. They feel safe, you know, and people didn't feel safe in my energy before. People felt like they had to lie or they had to hide things from me because they didn't want my reaction. You know, they did not want to hear what I had to say. They were like, no, I'd rather lie because that thunder also comes with lightning. Okay? Like, so, you know, yeah, people would have to hide things from me. And I don't like that. I don't like that I was that kind of person where people were like, shh, you know, because I had zero chill, you know, zero chill. For me, it was great. For everyone else, it sucked. You know, my ego I was worse than Marie Antoinette, bro. Like, what even is a good... I was, like, probably on par with, like, Cleopatra. To be honest, I was a whole dick, right? A whole dick. But now, you know, rather than my actions giving me this rush, it's like the effects of my actions give me this rush, you know? Like yesterday, when I went to work, my friend, he like stopped in just because he's like, hey, like, I missed you. I wanted to see you and, you know, see what's up and da-da-da. And we got to have a little conversation and talk. And I was like, dude, that's so sick. And then like 30 seconds later, my old roommate comes in and he's like, hey, I made some food and here you go. Like, I know you're going to need to eat. And this is your recipe that I modified because, bitch, I made it better. And I'm like, oh my God. Yes. So sick. And then like 30 seconds later, like another friend is like, I came to get food from Alex, but also I wanted to see you because Alex was going to find me, but then I heard he was coming to you. And so I came over here to come to you too. And I'm like, I love this, you know, like having a soul family where people are like, they will go out of their way to come and be in your presence. Like, just because they love, like, they feel that loving, like, trust and care in your presence. Like, I love that. I want to be a safe zone for everyone, right? Like all the arguing in the world doesn't top last night, right? It just doesn't, you know? All the arguing in the world, it will never, ever be better than that, right? Winning every argument, you know, it's better not having to argue, right? And I know I read The Art of War. I did not take it to heart the first 3 times, and then I finally clicked because I was very Malcolm X-y, right? I love Malcolm X. Nope, my glasses I don't wear on camera because I don't need to see when I'm wearing, you know, when I'm on camera. But Yeah, Malcolm X glasses. Like, Malcolm X, personal hero, super dope bro. He's like, nah, if they're gonna sick their dog on you, you kill them and their dog. I don't give a fuck. You know what? No. You know, I mean, the context. You have to go back and watch the speech to understand the context. It was about Birmingham, Alabama, when, you know, whatever. I'm not going into history right now. If you want to know, look it up. Okay, but Malcolm X is my boy. That's all I'm saying. I loved his philosophies. I loved who he was. I love who he was. You know, like, I just have so much respect. And like, you know, going from that to who I am now, bro, like, that is a shift. That is a shift. It's whack and it's hard, but the rewards, man, is that even though there's not like real rewards, right? I'm not richer. I have to work just as much. I have to effort life just as much. I still struggle. I have my hard days, you know, I get sad. I want to cry sometimes. Whatever. Shit happens. There's not like some ultimate reward for me here, you know? There's no heaven and hell except for energies and frequencies, right? The reality of it is that energy and matter is neither created nor destroyed. It is recycled. We're going to be reincarnated over and over and over and over in different universes and different things and different places. We're going to all meet up again, and I'm going to find some platform to find all you motherfuckers again, because that's what we do, right? This is what we've always done. And, you know, like, that's why we're so quantum entangled. That's why we always find each other. We always come back. You know, enemies, friends, family, lovers, all the like, we always come back to each other. And that is the beauty of it all, right? So yeah, no, I'm not sitting here saying, be good because you're going to go to hell if you're not. Be good because you'll get all these rewards if you do. No. What if there is no reward? What if you still have to work hard? What if you still gotta struggle? What if shit still sucks? What if, you know, like, you still have shit to deal with in your life, right? It's not like everything just magically, poof, becomes perfect, right? And I think that's my favorite thing about this journey, as crazy as that sounds. And like, even when the Tower card and the Death card come out in my readings, that fucking smacks, because I know that whatever's falling apart, whatever's coming to an end, whatever needs to be finished, I know that means rebirth, rebuilding, regrowth, right? This means, you know, it's like when you cut your skin, for example, right? And you cut it real deep. And that skin that grows back, right? That scar tissue, right? And I don't know if you guys have had like real scar tissue, not just like the little superficial scars, but like real fucking scar tissue scars. Like, that skin is so thick, right? That skin is like, it's thick, right? It's not like the rest of your skin. It has its own texture. It grows back stronger and more protective of that area, because that area got hurt, got an ouchie, and like, your skin's like, not ever fucking again, dog. Not ever fucking again. We went through that one time, not ever fucking again, right? And that's what scar tissue is there to really, you know, like, metaphorically teach us, you know? That is yourself protecting yourself in such a beautiful way, right? It's like, no, we're doing the best, right? We're not fucking up. And yeah, so yes. I feel like I'm ranting way too long. I just got reminded, bitch, shut up. So maybe I should get on with my readings, because now I'm talking about the cards and I'm thinking about the cards. But, you know, oh yeah, my main point though, I'll finish up with that. My main point though is that shit must end and shit must begin and shit must continue, and, you know, whatever. There's always going to be this influx of things, right? And through all of this, be good for goodness sake. right? It's not for anything else. I'm not gonna threaten you with anything, right? I'm not gonna sit here and like throw dogma at you, right? I'm just speaking like whatever the fuck I am to person. That like you and we're quantum entangled in this because of our history, because of our past lives, because of all this shit, right? Um, dude, like, why do you think history repeats itself? Because it's the same fucking people stuck in karmic cycles, like, and they're just looping, right? They're auto looping because the nature of the universe is to spiral, like we see it, the Fibonacci spiral, the golden ratio, all that shit. Nature of the universe is spiraling, and breaking cycles is hard, right? It's hard because spiraling is so consistent. So, and like, but we can all change that in a matter of right now. We can all make a decision right in this second where we're like, you know what, right now, that's where it's at. But yeah. So anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna leave this here because I'm gonna get on with readings where I can sit here and tell you more things. But yeah, namaste. I love you all, and I will see you soon.